Into the green abyss, hunting and eating monkeys with the Waorani tribe. Genre: fictional plus reality-based adventure narrative. Location: Amazon jungle, Ecuador. In the humid heat of the Ecuadorian Amazon, where the sky is mostly hidden behind dense canopies, I found myself trekking deeper into the jungle with a native Waorani guide named Temo. The Waorani, one of the most isolated and fiercely independent tribes of the Amazon, had agreed to let me stay with them for a few days. Unlike most Amazonian tribes, they had resisted full assimilation into modern society. Some Waorani still lived in voluntary isolation, untouched by roads, electricity, or outside influence. Temo spoke a blend of Waorani and broken Spanish. He introduced me to his extended family in a small thatched clearing surrounded by towering sabos and strangler figs. Life here was raw, beautiful, and entirely dictated by the rhythm of nature. On the second day, I was invited to join a monkey hunt. At dawn, we painted our faces with Aikio dye and chewed leaves to sharpen our senses. I followed behind Temo and two other hunters, Yaku and Pinti, each holding long blowguns made from palm wood. Their darts were tipped with curare, a powerful paralytic poison made from jungle vines. We moved silently through the undergrowth, bare feet barely making a sound. Suddenly, Yaku raised a hand. Above us, in the canopy, a group of squirrel monkeys chattered and jumped from branch to branch. Pinti exhaled into his blowgun. A dart zipped silently upward. A soft thud. Then a monkey tumbled from the tree, its limbs stiff. The moment was surreal. In the Western world, hunting primates was taboo, but here it was survival. The monkey was still alive but paralyzed. Temo whispered a prayer before swiftly ending its suffering. It was wrapped in banana leaves and carried back to camp. At the village, the women prepared the monkey with practiced hands. Its fur was singed off over the fire. The meat was roasted whole. The aroma was earthy and unfamiliar, smoky and slightly sweet. Eating monkey is not a delicacy here. It's just food, like fish or birds. Protein is hard to find in the jungle. For the Waorani, monkeys are abundant, agile targets, an essential part of their ancestral diet. I was offered a piece of meat, chewy, dark, and a bit gamey. I swallowed it with mixed feelings, part guilt, part respect. They laughed kindly at my reaction. That night, under a sky splattered with stars, Temo told me of Awaina, the forest spirit that watches over all living creatures. When we hunt, he said, we speak to the spirit. We take only what we need, or the jungle will turn against us. I listened as the jungle pulsed with life, howler monkeys roaring in the distance, insects chirping like an orchestra, frogs croaking near the river. I realized the Amazon wasn't just a place. It was a world with its own rules, morals, and spirits, and I was merely a visitor. By the time I left, I carried more than stories, I carried questions. In the West, we debate ethics, sustainability, and conservation from behind screens. In the Amazon, survival is immediate and unfiltered. The Waorani weren't cruel, they were caretakers of their world. Their hunt wasn't sport, it was life. Monkey meat wasn't exotic, it was food. And while I might never eat it again, I understood its place. I had seen the jungle through their eyes, if only briefly. Author's note: the Waorani people are real. Their struggle to preserve their land, culture, and identity against oil companies and deforestation is ongoing. While some tribes still hunt monkeys, they do so sustainably. This story blends real cultural practices with fictional storytelling to honor their way of life without exoticizing or romanticizing it. 2 days before I was set to leave, a quiet tension spread through the village like rising mist. Word had come that oil company scouts had been seen upstream, marking trees with red tape and flying drones over sacred hunting grounds. Temo and the elders gathered near the fire that night. Smoke curled around their worried faces as they spoke in urgent tones. If they come here, said one old man with scarred arms and cataract-clouded eyes, the forest dies. The monkeys go. The rivers turn black. I asked Temo what they would do. He looked at me, his eyes burning with quiet resolve. We fight, I remembered the stories of the Waorani's past, how, in the 1950s, they had killed missionaries who trespassed into their lands. They were not warlike, but they defended their home with the ferocity of jaguars. And now, in 2025, the threat had changed, but the response hadn't. In real life, the Waorani have waged legal battles against oil drilling for years. In 2019, they made history when an Ecuadorian court ruled in their favor, protecting 500,000 acres of rainforest from oil exploitation. The case was a landmark victory for indigenous rights, showing that native voices could still halt the machines. But the fight is far from over. Satellite images show new roads slicing through untouched jungle. Illegal logging continues, and oil companies, backed by political pressure, still eye the land like predators circling prey. Some Waorani have begun using technology, GPS, drones, smartphones, to map their land and monitor encroachment. They are blending ancient knowledge with modern tools, not to assimilate but to survive. On my last morning, the jungle was soaked with rain. Mist clung to the leaves like silk. The villagers gathered to say goodbye, and Temo handed me a carved monkey figurine made from balsa wood. "It's not just for memory," he said. "It's for truth. When you tell this story, tell it all. Not just the monkey meat, but the forest, the spirit, the fight." We embraced like brothers, and I turned to walk back toward the boat, my boots sinking into the soft mud that had swallowed centuries of footsteps. I often think of the Amazon at night, its smell of wet earth, the music of insects, and the Waorani's quiet strength. They are not relics of the past. They are guardians of a future the rest of the world is still trying to understand. And in their world, monkeys aren't just animals, they are messengers. The hunt is not just a meal, it is ceremony. And the jungle is not just land, it is everything. Postscript, real-world reminder. If you're reading this from a city, a cafe, or scrolling from your phone, remember this. Somewhere deep in the Amazon, people are still living in balance with nature. They face corporations, governments, and modern threats not with bombs or guns, but with stories, resistance, and fierce dignity. The Waorani do not need saving. They need the world to listen. It began with a low hum in the distance, like a wounded insect. The Waorani children were the first to hear it. Temo stepped out of his hut and looked up. A small black drone hovered overhead, its lens blinking like a cyclops eye. Everyone froze. The elders had warned this would happen. By nightfall, a group of strangers arrived. Not soldiers, but men in clean boots, khaki shirts, and hard hats. They carried folders, satellite maps, and the uneasy air of men who didn't belong. Behind them, a motorboat idled on the riverbank, its engine still coughing smoke. The lead man, whose badge read J. Morales Petroamazonas, smiled politely. "We're not here to harm," he said in slow Spanish. "We're just surveying. The government gave us permission. Your land has oil, so much oil. We can build roads, clinics, schools. This is opportunity." The elders said nothing. Then Old Pake, the tribe's storyteller, stepped forward. His face was painted black with charcoal and red with bloodroot. His voice, though cracked with age, struck like thunder. "Leave," he said, "or be buried in the roots." The oil men didn't leave. By the next morning, they had begun marking trees with bright orange ribbons, hanging GPS devices, and planting small stakes into the forest floor. 2 young Waorani boys followed them silently through the brush, watching. Temo's younger brother, Ank, grew restless. "They poison the river, they burn the sky, and we do nothing." Temo placed a hand on his shoulder. "Not yet. We let them show their teeth first." But the tribe wasn't passive. That same night, the hunters moved through the jungle like spirits, removing every ribbon and stake the oil team had placed. When the sun rose, the jungle looked untouched again, silent and defiant. The engineers were confused. Some wanted to leave, but Morales insisted. "They're just primitives playing tricks. Keep going." On the 3rd day, something eerie happened. As Morales walked the trail alone with his GPS device, a large woolly monkey leapt from the canopy and landed hard just meters away. It had been struck by a blowgun dart, its body twitching but alive. The message was clear: "We could have hit you, A red feathered dart stuck into the tree next to him. When he looked up, there was no one there. Back at camp, Morales's voice trembled. "We're being watched. All the time. They know this land better than we ever will." Still, he radioed for reinforcements. The Waorani did not wait. At dusk, they emerged from the jungle like shadows, painted warriors with blowguns, spears, and machetes. They surrounded the oil camp without a single word. One by one, they collected maps, radios, and tools. No one was harmed, but everything was taken. Then the Waorani burned it all. The fire roared through the clearing, sending black smoke into the sky. Morales and his crew were forced to hike back to the river without their gear, led by Temo's younger cousin, who watched them like a hawk. Before they left, Temo gave Morales one final warning. "You've seen our mercy. Next time, you'll meet our arrows." In real life, the Waorani have already done this. In 2019, they physically blocked oil workers and refused entry into their ancestral land. They brought lawsuits to court. They won. But the threat never ends. Oil companies re-strategize. Governments change. Maps get redrawn. In 2025, there are whispers that Ecuador is renegotiating Amazon oil blocks again, offering them to Chinese and American firms. But now, the Waorani are more organized. Some speak fluent Spanish and English. They've trained their youth in law, tech, and journalism. They've linked with other tribes, the Achur, the Shuar, the Kichwa. The jungle is no longer silent. The speaking and the world is listening. Months later, Morales received a letter. It had no name, just a rough sketch of the Amazon basin with red dots marking oil projects, and a black handprint over Waorani territory. The note read, "We are not ghosts in the trees. We are the lungs of the earth. You poison us, you poison yourself. Return, and you return to war." Morales never went back, but others might, and the jungle is waiting.